What's up, guys? We are going to do a full take, full review. Damn microphone. We're going to do a full take, full review here on The Accountant 2. It just recently dropped on Prime Video, so I decided I had to go and take a peek at it. I enjoyed the first movie, but when I heard they were making a second one, I wasn't like completely on board with, oh, this needed to happen. So I just, I waited. I didn't go to theaters for this one. So this one is going to contain spoilers. We're going to go through some stuff. I'll apologize in advance. I've got notes here this time, so I'm going to be kind of like bopping my face back and forth. It's not that I don't love you, but I want to look at my notes. So, there's that. Anyway, so starting off here, The Accountant 2. Let's talk about the cast, right? Obviously, we had Ben Affleck coming back as Christian Wolf. We had John Bernthal coming back in as Brax. We had J.K. Simmons in there for a little while. Grant Harvey, Andrew Howard, Daniela Panetta. I am so sorry if I just completely destroyed that name. All in all, pretty impressive cast. I think they did a really good job staying true as we went throughout the different parts of the movie in calling out Christian Wolf's tics, like what we had saw in the first one. Everything from how he blows on his hands, he gets impatient, he notices things, the quick talks.
It's considerably less than the aforementioned 1,484,315 large pizzas.
Right, that's because we do it by the slice.
By the slice?
Yeah.
No, impossible. You're fraudulently claiming more income than you're receiving in order to conceal income from another source. What is it?
The very just like blunt personality, right? His attempts at being social, his attempts at being air quote normal. But the reason why I'm impressed with that is because from a like directing standpoint, right, or from a filmmaking standpoint, they did a really good job contrasting him with everyone else that he interacts with without making him seem like he's like strange in a bad way. They just did a really good job outlining him as a character, outlining his traits and what makes him so unique. I think they did a really good job. And in this film particularly, they really honed in on an organization that he is either tied to or that he helped to fund, being the Harbor Neuroscience Group or something roughly to that verbiage, where it is a bunch of people like him, super crazy smart. In this case, these guys were all like hackers and whatnot, that kind of became like his guys in a chair, right? Like the superheroes normally have. So it was really cool to see that kind of like extended upon from maybe what we got in the first film initially, right? Going down the list of my notes here, I mean, we had a pretty interesting opening scene that kind of set everything up for what this film was going to end up being with the story that there was there. And we went from like that action and everything that he's involved in, drug cartels, mafias, everything like that. And then Christian had a speed dating scene. Or like, okay, he's trying to find personal connection. I thought that was just an interesting touch maybe to what we saw in the first movie. And then you find out like kind of halfway through it that he totally gamed their algorithms and he played it all. So he basically had a line of people that he was a supposed perfect match with based on all the different things that he factored in as he's just rattling it off, right? Only to find out that it really didn't help him at all. So it was kind of a sad scene. It was kind of a comedic scene at the same time as far as all of that went. There were points in this film that he tried to, again, he's trying to make those personal connections that are not always very easy for him, and he tried to make jokes in certain areas that just fell flat. Just super flat to whoever he was speaking with, and it was super sad to watch him go through that, but I couldn't help but chuckle. The one that stayed with me is when he was working with the one agent that kind of becomes his partner in crime throughout this particular film. Is she was like, well, this person fell, it must have been one hell of a fall, and he's like, well, the fall didn't kill him, the sudden stop did. Again, super flat joke, and she was like, what the is your problem? He flattered, he's like, it was a joke. So interesting to see that dynamic or that character development within Christian Wolf on this particular film. I thought that was really cool. We then got a look at the frozen pizza scene, and I'm only calling this out because there was a frozen pizza factory. There's a reason why it did play something into the story, but I just couldn't help but sit there and be like, is that how the frozen pizzas are actually made? I mean, they're going through this like conveyor belt with just sauce, just like water falling on them. Not looking at frozen pizza the same way ever again at this point. We got to see more of Braxton in this particular film. This time they were, Christian called him. He's like, I need your help on this particular situation and what's going on here. And I thought it was interesting for John Bernthal. We are used to seeing him as a very broody, a very violent type of a character, and he stayed true to that very much so in this film. Don't get me wrong. But there was moments of vulnerability, moments of him just being like, I just want to have a conversation with somebody. I just want to be, again, a normal person, or I want to have these normal people interactions. And some of those frustrations that went back and forth between him and Christian and their dynamic growing up together as brothers, and Christian with all of his tics and his, the Solomon Grundy thing and whatnot. So interesting to also see that John Bernthal was not just the guy that was running around and killing and stabbing and screaming like Punisher the whole time. There was a little bit more to him than that. Saw John Bernthal smile several times, laugh several times in this film, which for me is just weird to see. But I loved it. I loved every second of that. I talked about this beforehand, but Christian Wolf had people in chairs this time. He had his assistants that he could call in, and he was asking favors, and it was just really cool. In the moment where I was like, he's got a guy in a chair, they were looking to drive away, and his person from the agency was like, what if we get pulled over? We've got a guy in the trunk. Calls this person. You got my location? Yep. Okay, I need green lights like all the way through here, and by the way, set off an alarm at a bank so all the cops go over there. And they're like, boop, 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 done. That same group of people then hijacked a drone later in the film, and then walked you through hijacking all of these different street cams, hijacking or hacking into this person's laptop, and using that network to then set off a bunch of different distractions within their house so they could go through their photos. It was just really cool, the depth of that. It was very video gamey. It was very over the top as far as not realistic, I guess I would say. I can't talk. Maybe that's super realistic in a lot of ways, and I just don't know about it. But it was an interesting addition to it. So that was it was fun, right? At the end of the day, watching through this film, it really seemed like Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal were just playing themselves. There was a lot of time where that big brother, little brother vibe that they had going on with their characters, obviously, it just seemed almost too natural for them. One of them was always in a mood, one of them is always in a different kind of mood, but it played off of each other so well. One of them was annoyed with them. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I think they did it very, very well. We got to see Ben Affleck do line dancing. Again, another attempt at having kind of a personal connection, but it was cool because when he did it, it's way outside of Christian Wolf's normal thing. He's not a social person. So he had a rather cute girl come up and try and, flirt with him a little bit and ask what kind of movie or what kind of music he wanted the band to play at this honky tonk that they were at. And he just ate it, right? It just didn't work. He did his thing, and she was just like, okay, sorry. And she, kind of scampered off and she went dancing. But then he started watching everyone line dance, and they showed his brain just working and analyzing the footsteps and the patterns and everything like that. And he got up there and he line danced with everyone, and he enjoyed it, and he was laughing and the girl was laughing, and then John Bernthal's character Brax was laughing and like, that's my brother, look at him go. And he was like proud of his brother for doing that. He couldn't believe what he was watching his brother do because of the different quirks that his brother normally comes with. So line dancing with a bunch of strangers, much less a really beautiful girl, and then getting her number, was just way outside of what you would expect out of that character. So it was really cool to see that. Topping off this film, our finale was this assault on a compound to save a bunch of kids. That was really, really well done. The action was there. Our heroes were not invincible. There was definitely times where it was a little too close for comfort, and you get just that little bit of Hollywood magic to come in and help them kind of skate through it. Brax definitely took a couple of shots to the chest, and his armor stopped it. But he should have felt it a little more, right? So that was a little John Wicky as far as that went. But all in all, it was interesting. The part that I had mentioned in my quick review that I had some struggles in watching that scene with was Brax and Christian had went through that compound and were navigating through this gunfight with just precision, and I don't mean precision in their fight, right? Or in their shooting capabilities, but precision in the way they moved. They moved with one another as if they had been clearing rooms together for years. Brax had walked in front of him, and Christian flipped his muzzle up so that he wouldn't flag him with his gun. It's those little things that are like, that's taught, that's trained, that's not just something that you pick up. Now, you could, explain it away that Christian does what Christian does, so he may have picked it up over the years, but he's typically a lone wolf kind of an operator, or a lone wolf type of an entity. He's not really someone that's going in and clearing rooms and stuff like that. So I had a little bit of trouble with that, right? But again, it wasn't so far out of the realm that it made me just like lose all faith in the movie or lose all faith in the scene or anything like that. I thought it was very cool. I thought it was really fun. At the end of the day, I think it was an incredibly fun film to watch. I thought the story was actually better than I anticipated it being. Going down this journey of Christian getting called upon to find this kid. He then kind of creates this unintentional personal attachment to this kid because he thinks he might be one of him, like his kind of people. So there was a story there that I enjoyed. I don't think it's anything that is... Again, you're not going into it for the story specifically, but it had a good story for it being an action movie. I don't know if that entirely makes sense, but sometimes you have those action movies like Expendables or like the A-Team, Transformers, where you're putting it on just to watch stuff go boom and watch things go bang. We definitely had that in this film, but I don't think that the story was completely gone. It was there enough to still be like, oh, okay, this is worth watching, right? Good date night movie, I'd say, depending on what kind of date nights you want to have. And I've got to make a mention of this at the very end because I just thought it was really, really fun. John Bernthal's character in the very beginning of the movie is on the phone with someone about getting a dog, specifically about getting a corgi. First of all, John Bernthal and a corgi, that sounds amazing. Because, again, he's looking for some relation. He's looking for some attachment, right? Christian goes, you're definitely not a dog person. You're moving around all the time. You don't have a set schedule because you're a hitman for hire, XYZ. You're more of a cat person. In the last 10 minutes of the film, as they are driving this school bus of kids away, that they had just saved all of them, and John Bernthal's character goes, wait, pull over, stop the damn bus. He goes out onto the road, and he comes back with this orange cat. This little dude, this orange cat. And he's like, would you believe it? I got a cat. This is my dude now. So that was just, it was just, again, this fun little play on humor at the very end of it. The orange cat was adorable. Hopefully him and the orange cat, hopefully found a name for it. I don't know. But yeah, all in all, guys, I think it is worth the watch. Especially now that it's on Prime. You don't got to pay anything. Make a bowl of popcorn, turn the lights down at home, crank the surround sound for some of that action to come in there. But all in all, I think it was a really good film, and I definitely think you should check it out. But yeah, if you have seen the movie, go ahead and drop your comments down below. What did you think about it? I will say again, I was pleasantly surprised with it. A lot of reviews, people were just saying that it was the fun cop movie that nobody asked for, and I think for a while I kind of bought in to that's what this was going to be, and I've never been happier to have been proven wrong about a film. So definitely go check it out. If you've seen it, drop a comment down below. What were your thoughts on it? Give this video a like. I definitely appreciate it. And hit subscribe to the channel. That way you are made aware for the next time that I either drop another quick take or another full review as these movies start to come out to theaters, to streaming, so on and so forth like that. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you later.